And now it's time for the most entertaining, unpredictable prediction show on the face of the earth. It's NFL Weekly Predictions, starring Jason Powers, Jay Sizzle, and Steve Champagne. And now to your predictions.
Hey, welcome to TCS Sports. Jason, where's Jason at? Where is he at?
I'm around.
What are you doing? What are you doing, man? What are you doing? Just have a
Looking
seat.
for
We got a
hidden
show to do.
Looking for hidden cameras.
Hidden cameras? What do you mean hidden
You
cameras?
don't have any smoke alarms in here, do you?
No smoke
detectors?
alarms. I have no smoke detectors.
All right, I guess we're safe. We're safe.
No smoking in the studio.
All right. You never know who's spying on you, apparently.
Well, I don't know. Maybe, I guess that's true. You're Bill Belichick. I don't know. What, do you got some kind of interesting news? What's going on?
Hidden cameras in the Jets locker room.
What is this, just breaking news?
Yeah, it broke out yesterday.
Breaking news. Broke out yesterday. It must have been last night. I don't know. Go ahead. Tell me about it. I don't know about this.
Okay, so it turns out that there are hidden cameras in the Jets locker room, and they were put there supposedly by request, and because some items had come up missing. So the organization decided to put hidden cameras in the smoke detectors and have been keeping an eye, on the players. The NFL says that this is not a violation of any laws, any local statutes, or any laws. They also say it is not a violation of the bargaining agreement. But there's a problem with that.
Okay.
The NFLPA is arguing that it is a violation, and they are looking into possibly suing. There's whispers of a lawsuit, and it seems to be kind of a confusion in the locker room, because some players on the Jets team are claiming that they knew about these cameras, and other players on the Jets are saying they did not know about these cameras. They feel their privacy is violated, and they are pissed off.
Okay, your thoughts?
I don't like it. It smells funny. I mean, it smells funny. Why? First of all, why are items coming up missing? That's my first question. These guys don't make enough money. You've seen them on the field. They all have their thick, big-ass gold rope chains. They all have the fancy jewelry, and they all dress up to the nines. I mean, you've seen Cam Newton stepping out. You know what I'm talking about. How is it that items are coming up missing in the first place?
All right, well, I can answer that.
Go ahead.
I can answer that. It's not the players. The players aren't stealing anything. It's probably the equipment guys. Equipment guys, they want something, so they're figuring, I'm only getting paid, X amount. These guys are making millions and millions and millions of dollars, and here I am making $30,000 a year or $25,000 a year. The guy sweeping the floor, let me take this. You know what I'm trying to say? I mean, they know how much money these NFL guys are making, so it's probably a janitor, an equipment guy, a maintenance man. It's probably not the players. All I know is that where were these cameras 3 years ago when Geno Smith got punched in the nose?
Oh, God, I forgot.
I would have loved to have seen that.
I forgot.
I would have loved to have seen that.
Geno Smith. Wow, blast.
Remember, he got punched in the nose because he owed that guy money, or a player on the team?
Yeah.
He wouldn't pay him, so the
Locker
guy
room
punched
fight.
him in the nose. I would have loved to have seen that. Let's leak that footage.
Who needs the UFC when you got?
And as
Geno
far
Smith
as these
getting
cameras
knocked out?
some players know about it. I'm sure, because I'm sure some maintenance guy, he wants something from one of the players, so he goes and he says, "Hey man, I got some news for you. I was here and you guys weren't, and they installed these cameras. Oh yeah, look, I'll show you." And then the guy gives him a pair of shoes. You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of like. Like if you were a guitar tech for a famous rock band, and the next thing you know, you heard another guy in the band talking bad about the guy you're teching for, and you pull him aside and say, "Hey, you know what John had to say about you? He said you were a cocksucker, whatever." And then the next thing you know, he's appreciative, so he gets something. That's famous people try to get stuff. Hell, there are people going through garbage cans in Hollywood trying to get stuff from these celebrities. So I can believe it. But I don't see where it's a violation of privacy. What's so private about a locker room that if it's in-house...
Well, okay, but their story's not adding up. The Jets are saying that all the players were aware of this, and it's not a problem. But there's been at least two players that have stepped forward and said that it is a problem. and that they're really pissed. And I've never heard of this kind of thing before.
Well, I've never heard of it either, but I mean, there's security cameras everywhere you go. I mean, what?
Have it in the locker room?
Why
Come
not?
on.
Well, what if guys are stealing stuff? The next thing you know, the one guy comes up and he says, something's missing from my locker. He thinks a teammate's playing a joke, finds out no teammate's playing a joke, and an equipment guy is run off with something. I'm just saying. People steal shit.
Well, maybe they should have cleared it with the NFLPA first. I know this caused division in the locker room. It's caused a rift between the players and the team management. And it's caused a rift between the league and the NFLPA, who are saying it violates the bargaining agreement.
Okay.
So it just seems to be causing problems all the way around.
Well,
if they were going to do this, I think there's a better way to do it. Maybe they should have gone to if the league, if the Jets thought that this was okay, even if the players signed off on it, or, well, apparently they didn't, but they could have gone to the Players Association and said, look, we've had a problem with things coming up missing. This is what we intend on doing. Can we get your okay to go ahead and do this?
Right.
They
Well, if
could
they
have
wanted
done
to be
that.
sneaky, putting a camera in is the whole part is to be sneaky so you can catch the guy stealing stuff. I mean, oh, look, we're going to put cameras just so you know, and you're not going to catch the guy. First off, what team is this? The Steelers?
The Jets.
It's not the Seahawks?
No, it's the Jets.
It's not the Dolphins. It's not
The Patriots.
The New York mess.
It's the New York Jets. Okay, so the locker room's divided as if it wasn't before this happened. They haven't won a game. I mean, they haven't won a game.
Right.
They haven't won a game, although they did do very well Monday night.
Yes, they did.
They did do very well Monday night. Are you sure those cameras weren't in the Patriots locker room? I mean, turnabout is fair play, right? I mean, come on. What I'm saying, there's so many people relishing in this Patriot debacle. People are really...
They barely eked that out on Monday, too, didn't they?
They did. They barely did eke that out on Monday. You know what I'm saying? Is that all we got on this breaking news camera story thing?
Yeah. What do you think about the Sunday Night Massacre, man? What is going on with that? I mean, all week long, all we heard about was Bucks. Oh, they're getting Antonio Brown. Oh, they're going to go to the Super Bowl. Oh, they're going to win the Super Bowl. Oh, they're unstoppable now. They've only gotten better. And they fell flat on their face from opening kickoff. The worst performance probably of Tom Brady's illustrious career, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's be honest. Let's just face the facts. Okay? A, we all picked the Bucks to win that game. That's
Yes,
number
we
one.
did.
That's number one. Number two, we have been, and don't tell me you haven't, I'll slap you in the face, rough on Drew Brees.
Yeah.
We have.
Yep.
So, with that in mind, we blew it.
Oh, yeah.
We blew it.
But we weren't the only ones. I think pretty much.
I get that.
Nobody really had the Saints in that game.
Well, no.
And
some people did.
Very
A few.
few.
Not us.
Very few.
Not us. And we weren't prisoners. I don't think we were prisoners of the moment. I mean, I just didn't feel. Well, first off, I think the Jets could have beat the Bucks Sunday night. I mean, really. I mean,
It's
it was
very
bad.
possible.
It was
It was.
bad.
It was
It was
bad.
bad. And I'm not saying that the Bucks were knocking it down and having this amazing season. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is they had a very, 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 very bad game, and they just had problems. I don't know why they had problems. I mean, because it just looked like nothing could go right for them.
Are you in agreement with me that this was a 1 week aberration?
Well, they're not going to win the Super Bowl. I told you that. The reason I said that is because I've seen this story before. Anytime you put together a superstar team, it never works out.
Cleveland Browns?
Never. Okay, well, what about the Dolphins when they had Marino? Jimmy Johnson, they were going to, before Don Shula retired, he got all these free agent players to come in because Dan Marino, we're going to give him a Super Bowl. We're going to get all these guys. Didn't work out. We've seen it happen before. That's just one instance. You can go back that far. But if you look at certain teams that get all these free agents and people say, hey, but you're right, recently, Cleveland Browns. Last year, on paper, the Cleveland Browns should have won the Super Bowl.
Right.
They should have, but they didn't. And I've seen it before.
The Cowboys this year. A lot of people picked the Cowboys
On
this
paper,
year.
the Cowboys look great.
Yeah.
You picked
You know
the
what I'm
Cowboys.
saying? Got this all-star team.
Is that sizzle?
I said you picked the Cowboys.
I did.
He
I
did
picked
pick
the
the
Cowboys
Cowboys.
to win the Super Bowl.
Speaking of the Cowboys, I mean, look at what do they do with the Steelers there? See,
Good
the
God.
Steelers and the Bucks both fell down. And I said this last week during the pick. I said, we picked a lot of favorites. Something's going wrong.
Yep.
Something's going wrong because if you're going to win a pick segment, which you guys are in the lead, by the way. I'm the one in the doghouse. You have to pick and you have to go and try to grasp because there's going to be upsets every week. You show me a week where a favorite wins every week, and I'll kiss your ass.
Right.
But
the way in which these games went down is what's so surprising. I mean, especially Sunday night. I mean, that boggles the mind. If you'd have told me going into Sunday night that the Saints were going to eke out a victory, okay,
we can believe
yeah,
that.
I mean, I could accept that, no problem.
30 points.
They're a good team. I mean, I know I've kind of dogged them a little this year, but I mean, they are a quality team.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, the 3 points the Bucks managed.
3
with
Mike Evans, Antonio Brown, Godwin, Gronkowski.
Yep.
Leonard
Scotty
Fournette.
Miller, Leonard Fournette. Yep.
My big thing with the Buccaneers was this. It wasn't Tom Brady in the offense. I'll give them somewhat of a pass. Not much. Maybe a little bit of a pass. But what about this vaunted Buccaneers defense that was supposed to be this badass, one of the best
They got run over.
They got run over. And I
They
mean,
did.
they got run over. And I am a big Todd Bowles guy. I like him as a defensive coordinator. I don't like him as a head coach. But then again, he was the head coach of the Jets. Who's going to win there? But
Well, that's not his fault. God, I mean, yeah, exactly. Who's going to win there?
But he did get the defense. See, to me, if you're a head coach, you got hired because you were a defensive guru or an offensive guru. So if you're a defensive guru, your defense better be top notch.
What's up, Sizzle?
You know what I'm saying?
You good?
Okay, but you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
If you're an offensive guru, you better have a great, like, what's his name? And I can't think of his dang name. I see his face. I can't think of his name. The guy for the Rams. The coach of the Rams.
Oh, yeah.
See, you can't think of his name either.
What's
What's
me on the spot? McVay. Sean
we need
McVay.
more coffee,
Sean McVay.
not water.
Sean McVay.
Sean McVay. He's an offensive guru. Did the Rams not have all these offensive, great plays that got him to the Super Bowl? You know what I'm saying? So he's doing what his job is, and he hired Wade Phillips, a defensive guru, to take care of the defense. So, but I like Todd Bowles. I like him. I think he's great. And I think Bruce Arians, maybe a little arrogant, he might be too old. I don't know. I'm not too sold on their offensive coordinator. That's just me. Just like the Cowboys.
You brought up coaching. There's something else I want to touch.
Coaching is huge.
Yeah, you're always going back to that. And I kind of want to touch on something in regards to coaching. Mm-hmm. Did you see this week that there were more fines handed out to coaches over COVID violations?
No.
I mean, this just continues. Earlier just before the games this weekend, I believe it was on Friday or Saturday, it was announced that the Raiders had messed up yet again, and Gruden got fined, and the team got fined pretty heavily, I might add. And not only that, the NFL came down on him and said, "Your 5th-round draft pick next year? Nope, you don't have a 5th-round draft pick. We're going to take that." They took it off the table. And another person that's been violating this routinely, because Gruden is just old school. Gruden's set in his ways. The face mask thing has been a problem with Gruden from week one, and it continues to be a problem. And that's why they're continuing to fine him heavier and heavier. And now they're taking away draft picks. When is this going to end? When is it going to get through to this guy? And here's a guy who came in, and when he was hired to take over the Raiders for the second time, by the way, second tour of duty with them, what did he say? He said over and over and over, culture change. He used those key words, culture change. I'm going to change the Raiders' culture. We're going to create a winning culture with a professional demeanor. But I guess when it comes to keeping the league safe and keeping everything operating and keeping all the players on the field and keeping the tens of thousands of people that work for the NFL that don't have anything to do with actually playing the game, but their families depend on this to survive, I guess there's no culture change unless, you're trying to culture bacteria. I mean, this is just awful. It's got to stop.
Well, All he's got to really, I don't like wearing a mask, but I do.
I don't like wearing a mask either, but we do it.
Because I haven't easily been able to find a face shield. I don't wear glasses because, you can just attach that to a pair of glasses. But I'm just saying that I would rather wear a shield than a mask, personally.
Okay. Let's say, just for example,
Andy
let's
Reid wears a shield.
say you got $1 million a year to do your job.
Right.
But it was dependent that you do it safely and you wear a mask and you keep your social distancing.
Mm-hmm.
Would you protest?
No.
Would you do it?
No.
You wouldn't comply,
No.
or you would comply?
Well, what you're fail to realizing is this, and you make a good point. Don't get me wrong, but you're looking at it from the wrong angle. Here, let me explain, because we got to get to this next segment. I'm ready to do some picks, but here's the deal. Do you have millions of dollars?
No.
Okay. If you did, and someone offered you $1 million a year, you got to take all them zeros away. See, if you got thousands of dollars, which you have, and someone offers you thousands of dollars a year to do a job, maybe you're not as good as you were if you're making thousands and they offer you millions. If you have already
That is
millions,
the most selfish shit I've ever heard.
it may be true.
That is absolutely selfish.
Well, I'm just saying, if you got millions of dollars and someone offers you millions of dollars, you're like, you know what? I don't need
So
it.
what you're telling me is that John Gruden, he's not the only one. Mike Tomlin has been a habitual offender of this stuff too, a violator. So you're telling me that old school guys, and it always seems to be old school guys. I mean, Mike Tomlin doesn't seem old school because he was so young when he was hired. What was he, 32 when they gave him the job? But he's been there for well over a decade now. Now he's one of the older coaches. So you're saying all these old school coaches that keep getting habitually fined don't care about the peanut vendors, don't care about the guys that sweep up, don't care about the prognosticators that make their living through the NFL, don't care about any of those tens of thousands of families that are dependent on the NFL, don't care about the low-level players who only, what is the minimum salary in the NFL is, what is it, like $500,000? Mm-hmm. Those guys aren't making millions of dollars. Mm-hmm. And a lot of those guys that are making league minimum, they're lucky to even cash 2 or 3 game checks because they're often left off of the active roster. So they don't care about them. They don't care about the practice squad players. They don't care about anybody except what? Who do they care about? That is unconscionable. And
so you want me to
awful.
answer that question?
Awful.
You want me to answer that?
Go ahead, answer it.
They don't care because the peanut vendors are in the stands. They don't go in the locker rooms. These other people, the security people on the outer rim, they don't care about them. These low-level guys making $100,000, $200,000 a year, they'll find a bunch of guys that take their place. They don't care. They don't care. I'm telling you, I believe that they don't care.
That's fine. Then from this point forward, as God is my witness, I am off the Mike Tomlin train and I'm off the John Gruden train. May they have nothing but rack and ruin from this point forward.
All right.
And I'll stand by that for any other coach that habitually, I mean, if you mess up one time or even a couple of times, I get it. I get it. This is a weird year. We all have to make concessions. But to be habitually violating these rules is unconscionable and egregiously selfish.
You're probably right about that.
It's got me fired up.
I can tell you're fired up about it. I just, I think you're, they're not thinking is what it is. I think they care, but they're not thinking.
Well, now they're down to draft pick. Maybe they'll think now.
The money will make them think in a draft pick.
Think now.
All I know is we got some NFL picks. I'm excited about the pick segment. Let's get to it. Can we do that? Can we get to the pick segment?
We'll be right back with the prediction segment here on
predictions.
NFL Weekly Predictions.
TCS Sports.